Yo, what's good, my wolf pack? Elf of the pack, bruh. Really? What's good? What's good, my wolf pack? Elf of the pack right here. I'm not stopping the video. Um, Today, in this video, man, I'm gonna be doing a review of Eden Zero, Chapter 71, The Still Sorceress. Jeez. Okay, Eden Zero, Chapter 71, The Still Sorceress. You guys have no idea how many times I've redid this video. Okay, review chapter 71, Still Sorceress. Um, Jumping right into it, we got Hermit, Rebecca, Happy, and Witch. They're all staring at the monitor on their computer screens. They're checking out the goons. The goons. They're checking out. They're checking out the goons that just broke in onto the Eden Zero. You know, they're currently making their way down through the corridor, right? And Witch is trying to get in communication with Hamura through their little lacrima earring communication device. But because of the goons that broke in onto the ship, there's some interference going on with the device. So Hamura can't really make out what Witch is saying, but Witch basically was asking for permission to use the Four Starshine's battle suits, but I don't really understand why she would need permission. You know, I guess the original Valkyrie had control over all the combat stuff, so it only makes sense for Hamura to have control over it. But it's like, the ship's under attack. Just use it. Rebecca asks Hermit if she can fight, and Hermit responds with a little bit. So I'm assuming Hermit doesn't fight that often, but if the chance comes, if an opportunity shows itself, I would kind of want to see Hermit fight. I mean, that sounds pretty dope. Hermit fighting. I mean, Ivory looks like obviously Ivory can throw down, but I kind of want to see Hermit fight. But yeah, man. Speaking of Ivory, Ivory comes running in. She's all like, first Hermit was all like, oh, uh, it will be really helpful if Valkyrie was here right now. And it was when Hermit says that if Ivory comes running in, and she was all like, "There's no time for whining. Witch, just use the battle suits." And it seemed like Witch was kind of hesitant to do so. It was like she can't do anything without asking for permission. But you know, eventually she does use it. But after that little interaction, um, we go back to the city on Draken's ship, right? And it appears that Drake and Joe has locked down the docking bay, and he's preventing people from leaving. And a couple of the guests are freaking out, and it was all like, "What's going on? Why can't we leave? Open up! We didn't do anything wrong." The townspeople are freaking out, and we got Shiki and the crew just hiding behind this wall, and they're observing what's going down. And Pino's like, "Master, what's going on? What should we do?" And Shiki's like, "We gotta force our way through. We're gonna have to force our way through." And Drake and Joel, he appears back on the giant monitor, the screen that was on that towering building, and I don't know if Drake and Joel really can see Shiki and the crew, but I think he's listening in. Somehow he's listening in on what's going down, and I don't know if he can hear Shiki and the crew conversing, but because whenever he appears on screen, it's not like he's looking directly at Shiki and the crew. It's like he's just sending a message throughout the city. But I don't know. It's kind of confused because I'm like, is he talking? Is he looking at them? I can't really tell. But nonetheless, Drake and Joe, he appears back on screen. He was all like, "I would suggest that you guys don't cause any trouble. The lives of your crewmates on Eden Zero are in the palms of my hands, so I would suggest you behave yourself, you rats of Eden Zero." And when he says that, why Samara and Shiki, they're all looking shook. Once again, they look a little bit shook. But jumping back onto Eden Zero, as the goons, Drake and Joe's underlings, are making their way through the corridor, some gun turrets comes down from the ceiling, and they start firing off shots. And the robot skeleton cowboy dude, he pulls out his pistol, fires a couple shots, completely destroys the gun turrets, right? You know, they start talking big game again, talking about how pitiful the ship's defense were and all that. You know, and as they're continuing down the corridor, this giant snake robot thing flies from out of the wall and wraps around a big guy's arm, big musclehead robot dude's arm, but he just completely rips it off and just shatters it, crushes it completely. You know, and once again, they're talking about how pitiful the Eden Zero defensive measures are, right? And it was at that moment that Witch showed up, right? You know, and Witch was all like, you know, I won't forgive you for messing with our communication devices, for destroying our ship, for coming on here without permission. You know, I won't forgive you for disturbing us, basically. And, you know, the goons are once again talking big game, talking about how, oh, the crew finally is going to show up and we're going to kill all of you and all of this, right? But cowboy skeleton robot dude, when Witch shows up, he try to fire off a quick shot with his pistol. Witch uses her ether to create a shield and just completely deflect that, like get that nonsense out of here. She just completely deflects it. Um, you know, Rebecca's a little bit concerned for Witch. She's not sure if Witch can handle the three goons on herself, but Ivory tells her to calm down, and then she proceeds to tell Hermit to try to get back into communication with Shiki and the crew, right? But Witch, she equips into her wait, back up a bit. The big musclehead robot dude, you know, after he talks about how hot Witch is, he pulls out his giant cannon gun and fires a shot at her. In which just like she completely deflects it, like it didn't even touch her. He fired off a shot, which she backhanded. She just like, she completely knocked it to the side, right? And it was then, well, it was probably before then, but guys, work with me. My memory's not the best. It was probably before that moment, but whatever. She utilizes her battle suit. All right, she uses her ether gear and she re-equips into her battle suit, and she calls herself Assault Witch. And I gotta say, her outfit, it was sick. She was looking kind of thick. It was sick. All right, so she equips into her Assault Witch battle outfit, right? And you know, you already know she deflects a big guy's bullet, and she actually uses her ether. She has the ability to change ether, which is really cool. She manipulated ice to freeze big guy's gun. All right, and then the chick, the female underling, she apparently her ether allows her to stretch out her limbs and stick to things, because after she started talking big game, she stretched out her leg, stuck her foot on the ceiling, ripped a chunk out, and threw it at a Witch. Okay, so then the Witch changes her ether again, and she starts using air ether, right? And she jumps up into the air, dodging the chunk of the ceiling, right? And once she lands down, she charges some lightning ether. She's just switching back and forth between powers, right? So once she falls back down, once she lands down, she charges the lightning in her hands. She slams her hands on the floor. The lightning goes flying all over the walls, ceiling. It's gliding across the floor, and she just completely vaporizes the goons, like with the greatest of ease. No hesitation. She uses the lightning and just completely vaporizes the goons, right? and it's funny because after when Witch showcased all of her different amount of powers, they they were all getting freaked out, and they were getting a little bit shaken up, but at the same time they still kept talking big game, like how they were really gonna push past her, right? And it's funny because the chick, the female underling, what? And it's funny because the chick, the female underling, she was talking the biggest game. She was talking the biggest game, talking about how, you know, she even jokingly asked if there was a princess on board because witch's name being witched, and the leader of the Eden Zero name is the Demon King. She was trying to poke fun at him. It's just like, oh, I wonder if you got a little princess on the ship as well. She was talking the biggest game, but when witch utilizes her. When she utilizes that lightning and she just completely blew all of them back, it was the most satisfying thing. Especially when the goons were down and Witch went walking up to the chick, she was all like, everybody on the ship is my family. If anyone tries to harm them, I will show them no mercy. And then Witch, in the most savage display, stumps the chick in her neck. She just stomped on her neck like she was trying to break her neck. It was the most savage display I've ever seen. I was laughing, bro. It was sick. I didn't know Witch had that kind of savageness. I didn't know Witch had that kind of savageness in her, but it was dope, my G. And it's funny because Rebecca, Herman, and Ivory and Happy, all of them, they saw what went down. Ivory, she's a bit of a sadist. No, I called the room that her and Rebecca was in the last chapter. I called it an interrogation room, right? Ivory, she refers to it as an infirmary, but it's more of a torture room because the way Ivory reacted, she's trying to hide her sadism, but she's a sadist, all right? Because as soon as Witch stumped on Chick's necks, she says, "Witch, stop right there. It's my time. It's my turn to have some fun. I'm gonna take them to the. I'm going to take them to the infirmary room. I'm going to take them to the infirmary room. It's time for some interrogation. It ain't no infirmary room or interrogation room. That's a straight up torture chamber, my G. Because what I didn't mention in the last chapter was she had Moscow tied up with a ball gag in his mouth for some reason, and she was doing something to him. So that infirmary interrogation room is not what it seems, apparently. So Ivory, she runs off telling Witch to stop what she was doing because she wanted to interrogate the goons. But yeah, man, Witch just showed the cleanest amount of savageness, swag, power. It was amazing. And Hermit says that exactly is why they call her the Steel Sorceress, and it was the cleanest shot of Witch just standing over Drake and Joe's underlings. Yeah, I was hyped. I was hyped. I want to see more of Witch throwing hands, but after that, we get back in touch with the crew on Drake and ship, right? Hermit tells the crew about what went down. She tells them that Witch wiped out the enemies and they could come back to the ship. We know that Drake and Joe and everyone, or at least his underlings, are hostile. We got his goons taken care of. We need to interrogate them, find out why exactly they are hostile towards us. But you guys need to come back to the ship. If you stay there, it could cause us more problems. So we need to roll out, basically. And Shiki flat out refuses. He's all like, no, they attacked my family and I will not stand for it. I'm gonna go at him. And Herman was all like, okay, I tried. But yeah, man. It appears that Drake and Joe was also watching he was also watching somehow, because he realized he was somehow watching on Eden Zeros because he realized that his crew was taken out, and he had a little smirk on his face, and he was like, that's pretty impressive. I guess I'm gonna have to let out my other guys, and there were more goons, that he called the Element 4 or something like that. They had this emo, punk rock looking dude. You had this gothic looking dude. You had this dude that literally looked like a giant rock, and you just had a chick. So I'm like, things might get a little bit rocky, especially if I let these guys out. But I'm like, they didn't look all that special, to tell you the truth. I was not impressed. They didn't look like much, if I'm being honest. But yeah, man. That's basically it. That's how chapter ended, with Drake and Joe talking about his Element 4 goons. But yeah, man. The best part of this chapter was Witch utilizing her different abilities with ether gear. Air, ice, lightning, bruh. If she would have utilized fire, I would have flipped. We might as well call Witch the next Airbender. Shout out to the last Airbender. Which might as well be bruh. Which might as well be the Avatar. Come on, son. It was so dope seeing Witch stroll down, bruh. If I have to rate this chapter, I'll give it 5 stars. I don't even think I rated last chapter. I'll give that one 4. But this chapter was 5 stars, bruh. I loved it. Best part, obviously, Witch throwing hands. That's what the majority of the chapter was dedicated to. It was epic. I never would have thought Witch could throw hands like that, bruh. You know what? I don't even care about Drake and Joe's goons. I don't care about his Element 4. I don't care about the 3 punks that are knocked out on the floor on Eden Zero. I want Drake and Joe. Stop with these goons. Bring Drake and Joe to the ship. Let's see Drake and Joe throw hands. I want to see... Well, Shiki's going towards Drake and Joe, but I know a couple of these chapters are going to be dedicated to his little goons, but I want to jump right into the Drake and Joe stuff. Let's see Drake and Joe throw hands. If he somehow gets past Shiki, I want to see Witch fight this dude, because that would be dope. But, yeah, man. Let's see. But not that I'm saying I want Drake and Joe to get past Shiki, because I want Shiki to give him those gravity hands. But, anyway... I'm just saying, I want to see Drake and Joe fight. I don't care about his goons. I don't care about his underlings. I just want to see Drake and Joe fight. But, yeah, man. I'll rate this chapter 5 stars. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Even though I was tripping, my memory not want to cooperate. We did this video like 10 times. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it again. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all in whatever video I do next. Peace. I forgot my regular intro. Peace out, my wolf pack. Your alpha has spoken. See, I'm tripping. I'm out.